We're late, that's what's going on. Because Squirrel's late. Oh wait, what's his nickname in the video? What's the Fixer? The Fixer's late because he's dropping off his kids. That's not more important than the World Series of barbecue, right?
Almost ready. So.
I guess our road trip to the American Royal began just like any road trip where you're disheveled, unorganized. All you can think about is get everything in the back of the trailer, get on the bus, and put the wheels on the highway. Man, it's the American Royal.
It's gonna be so good.
2012.
All sweaty.
Bonus. Can never have too much toilet paper. Remember the toilet paper scare of '78?
Last time I drove in a cross country, it was, I choose 1996, doing it like that. So this time, obviously we were a little bit longer in length. We were about 75 feet, but we took off here about 10 o'clock, drove pretty much straight through, I think it was 22 hours. It was a good time, so definitely it was a little bit more comfortable when I thought it was gonna be a little easier. And I was kind of nervous at first, but it worked out pretty well.
Well, it was kind of an auspicious start to the trip. We was coming up the hill, blew a tar, then we was close to blowing a second tar. We pitted good on the first one. Crew did it about 12 minutes. I had a pneumatic gun and shit. We done all right, but yeah, we're here trying to get us a few more. Want to run safe, we'll get to Kansas City. God bless the family. Take care of everyone.
Just whenever I'm on a vehicle, there tends to be a blown tire. I don't know if that's my weight or what, but the garage sale in the trailer. By garage sale, I mean 9 dudes showed up with every little barbecue trinket that they own and just chucked it into the trailer with my 3,000-pound smoker. So I mean, that thing was so overloaded. You got a new wheel?
Yeah. Chrome, bitch.
No, we got a tire. So, when we get to blow another one out, because you don't
Look,
check air pressure, we'll just put it on there ourselves.
We should probably get
What
one
a
little bit
dick!
big.
I got a real good set of tools.
Your friends?
Make it work.
Kurt?
Tire
Kurt's a
iron.
tool. Dr. Grillenstein's
Hey, who's
a
keeping
tool.
eyes up? Wait, he's got their eye on
Look at
Kurt.
Grillenstein. Film that.
He's going for it.
Dude, he's crossing over.
Best
Dude, he's off the
Western.
map.
crossing the
Grillenstein's off the reservation.
Kurt!
Come back! I didn't mean it! Cameron loves you!
It was pretty funny in Flagstaff to kind of see Buffalo Bill, her linebacker. All morning, all he could talk about was Worcestershire sauce. It was like the last thing he needed for some recipe that was gonna cook in 3 days, but he just couldn't even let go of it. So we're all at Big O. And all of a sudden we see Kurt take off across these train tracks like way out of view, and turns out he just took off to look for Worcestershire sauce. I thought he was looking for a sweat lodge that he used to go to, but anyways, that Big O trip was really funny.
It was Kansas. I think we were in a tornado pretty much the whole distance coming across there. So I think we had about a 60 to 80 mile an hour headwind with a side wind coming in there. We're pretty good. We're filling up outside of Kansas state line. So we thought we'd fill up because it's wind's blowing at 50 miles an hour. Nobody else was on the road, which made it nice, but when we took a couple-hour break after we saw a Sasquatch run across the road, is what I say. So we were just tired at that point.
Yeah, so we pulled in the Royal. Basically, I think we were like 70 to 75 feet long. So I mean, you knew it was going to be a nightmare trying to get the RV and the trailer into the space. We only had one bottleneck where we pretty much stalled 4 lanes of traffic for 10 minutes that felt like an hour and a half. The only time I saw Mike was at school the whole weekend, but he handled it like a pro. Got into the event, got set up, and then everybody just starts filling in around us. We were pretty early, so we pulled in at Thursday, call it 10:30, and by Thursday afternoon, there were 20 acres of barbecue teams set up.
For me, it wasn't necessarily intimidating. I guess maybe a little bit it was intimidating because I'm walking around and I'm just seeing like every pro big name guy from all over the country. I'm just kind of like, holy cow, like these are all the names that everybody's heard of. And so I definitely felt a little intimidated, but at the same time, I kind of felt like being there was cool enough. Like I'm not going to go in there expecting anything great or huge or whatever. I'll try my best, but just being there was awesome, especially among the crowd that I was with. It was kind of that underdog scenario, I guess. The Invitational cook went really, really well. I started about an hour earlier than I normally start, just because it was cold. It was like, 35, 36 degrees. So, it was Friday night. Everybody was finally in. Everything was finally settled. So there's definitely a lot of partying and fun things going on. So it was a little distracting. It was hard for me to do. I normally like, at a contest, I normally like to go to sleep at 10 at night and sleep till about 2. Learned that from IAB 30 and it works really, really well. I just go to bed for 4 or 5 hours and I wake up and I stay awake. But there was just so much going on and everyone was having fun and I felt like I was going to miss something, so I had kind of a hard time going to sleep. So I ended up pretty much just staying up until I had to light the pit. So instead of lighting at 2, 3, it was like 1:45, lit it up, came to temp, got all my meats on, and then I just slept in like 45-minute increments over the next 3 or 4 hours. So I technically got about as much sleep as I normally do. I just did it a little bit differently. Everything was timed right. Everything went really, really well. As it came off, I wasn't overly excited about any one thing. I think everything was about the 2 things that really stood out to me that I thought were going to do well were brisket and chicken. Pork was not that great compared to what I normally do, which is usually my strongest. And the ribs I just got were crap. So I couldn't do much with the ribs. I mean, they were as good as they were going to get, but I mean, all in all, I was pretty happy with it. Yeah, so we're walking into the American Royal Arena or whatever, and it's funny because I've seen this arena on TV a bunch and it's bigger than it looks on TV. And we walked in there like right as the ceremony was starting. And of course I have David, the cameraman, with his big old fancy camera walking right behind me. So we walk up the bleachers, we're walking, it's kind of like being in high school, but just bigger, just huge bleachers. And we're walking across the bottom and the whole thing is filled. And our seats were up with Iowa Smoky D's and Twyford up in the very back left-hand corner. So I'm walking across this whole platform with a cameraman behind me filming me, and I'm just like, oh, I look like such an idiot right now. Here's this first-year punk kid from the West Coast with a cameraman, thinks he's so cool, and he's done nothing. So yeah, I felt a little dumb, that's for sure, but soon it settled down. So